Hey, 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 ladies. What is up, fam? No countdown today. Since I'm a few minutes behind, I thought we'd just dive right in. Welcome to my last final prep update of 2025, happening earlier than I thought. So, first off, shout out to everybody who's here live. I see Pamela on. I see Karen, Becky, Jennifer. What is up, ladies? Anybody else tuning in live on the live stream, please pop in a comment. Let me know you're here. Feel free to ask questions anytime about anything I'm talking about or anything else. I'll get to them as I can. We'll make this a little chit chat as usual. I love the chat. So, hello to anyone new watching or watching the replay. I'm Coach Nat, the Keto Bikini Pro. And we are not getting on stage again this year. And can you tell I'm happy about it? Oh boy, I've got a lot to share, so much to share. From last weekend in Vegas, first and foremost, so incredible. Let me pop this window out so I can pull up my Google Photos. I'm just going to pull up an album that I have on here with that I shared with the ladies, and the ladies shared photos and videos back between all of us. I'm really curious actually to see how much is in this folder now. Let's see. Because I'm going to pull it up and share my screen so I can share these photos with y'all, because it was absolutely incredible. This is the first time I have ever actually gone to experience the Olympia in any way, shape, or form. And happened to do it in true Natalie fashion, which is, let's do it all. Let's do the fashion show. Let's do a retreat with the ladies. Let's do the whole thing, the whole shebang. So it was incredible. Okay, here we go. KBB Vegas Olympia weekend, 1,254 items in this album. I'm not going to show you every single one of them. There may be some that are inappropriate to show, but I'm going to pull it up so I can go through. Are they in any sort of order? This is reverse order. So let me see if I can swap the order so that we can go from, why don't I just start at the bottom and work our way up? Because it should be, the bottom should be the first photos added, and then we'll just go through. So I can basically share with y'all like kind of like a play-by-play of how it all went from arriving there, the house we stayed at. Oh my gosh, let me clean my lens here. The house we got for the retreat was absolutely incredible. Day one, getting in there, I said, I want to move here. I want to live here. I love this house. So I'll show you all the house and then kind of go through the itinerary of everything that happened on the retreat. So we had basically day one was us all arriving, getting there, going grocery shopping, making dinner, hanging out in the house. The second day, all day, was fashion show stuff. So myself, Coach Mary Grace, and Kristen all went to Resorts World, where it was interesting because the Olympia was happening in like two places. They had the events happening, well, some of the events, the big events, the finals in the auditoriums at Resorts World. And that's where all the athlete stuff was happening. So there were, everywhere athletes needed to pick up badges. Hair and makeup for us for the fashion show was over there. That was pretty cool because when we got there for hair and makeup, there were a ton of athletes everywhere. We did see Dana Lynn Bailey, but we did not stalk her for a photo because we were in the car and she was coming out of Resorts World and we were like, Mary Grace did snap a picture of her though. Becky asked, did you ladies get to meet any of the athletes? So we didn't go to the Meet the Olympians because that was actually at the same time that we were on stage for the fashion show. So that was kind of unfortunate. And I hope that if they do this again next year, that they won't overlap that, because it would be cool to go to that. But also, if you know me, you know I am not a fangirl. And the last thing I want to do is stand in line to meet someone. So we didn't go to any of the official meet and greet kind of stuff. I absolutely hate standing in a line just to shake somebody's hand and get a picture. And that's what a lot of the expo is as well. There'll be certain athletes in certain places at certain booths doing meet and greets and stuff as well. But I will show you a picture from the day we went to the expo, which was Saturday. And the expo was happening in a different place. So Resorts World, they had, like I said, athlete stuff. They had the finals events happening there at night. And then they also had a lawn, that was the Olympia lawn, and they had a pop-up gym. So Dragon's Lair, famous Olympian gym in Vegas, which we went to on Sunday. So you'll see those pictures too. Went and played with all the fun equipment. But they did a pop-up gym during the Olympia events that was on the lawn outside of Resorts World. And then the expo was at the convention center, so completely different place, which was another thing that kind of threw a wrench in things, because we couldn't like just hop from one thing to another. You really kind of have to plan your day. So we did all the fashion show stuff on Thursday. The fashion show happened on Thursday evening. And then Friday was our photo shoot day. And that was another full day, because once again, we had to wake up. We had hair and makeup artists come to the house, but we were doing hair and makeup all day. And then we drove out to a ghost town in the desert, which was so cool, for our photo shoot in the evening, or in the late afternoon, evening. And then by the time we finished, it was dark. We had to eat. It was late. So that was another long day. But we did get back Friday night, and put on finals. I did the pay-per-view on the big screen. So we put that on, and y'all, those photos might be my favorite. We went out to the hot tub, and the house had this big screen TV by the pool, and the hot tub, and we watched finals from the hot tub. That might be one of the highlights of the whole trip. And then Saturday we went to the expo, and a couple of ladies had to head out to the airport. And then Sunday, we got to finally sleep in and relax at the house, have a relaxed breakfast, and then go to Dragon's Lair, play at that gym, and then come back and just hang again, another hot tub evening before Kristen left us. And then Juliana and I held down the fort for the last night. And Monday was just travel day. So, hey, Nancy, what is going on? Representing from Ontario, Canada. What up, what up? Another East Coast lady, just a different part of the East Coast. All right, ladies. So let's see. Let's dive into these pictures. Let me share my screen. I always forget where that is. Is this it? Share screen. Google Photos, share. All right. Let's see. Is that showing up? Yay. Okay. So this is travel day. You'll see my favorite thing about travel day, y'all, is the blood flow restriction with the backpack. I love rocking my backpack and seeing the veins pop on travel day. Lots of coffee. Some of my travel snacks I'll show y'all. I've been planning on showing y'all some food and stuff. So I should probably do this in future lives. Just show y'all like my food from the week and talk about food. This is I just bought this bar again today, Lind 100%. These are really, really thin little dark chocolate, really good ingredients, good macros. This was my latest find for the trip on Amazon. That is a lot like carnivore snacks, made with real salt, Redmond's real salt. This was brisket. Let me see one that shows the whole brand. Phillips beef crisps. Those were amazing. So that was my little airplane coffee and beef snacks with my chocolate element. This is Juliana's beautiful views of the canyon as she was going over. She snapped some pics on her phone of us at the Vegas sign. The three of us got in all at the same time, so that was fun. Here's some views of the house when we first got there. This is the pool. Off the volume. Yeah, there's the ladies. We're all checking it out, taking pictures. The view from the top floor. This is the master. I swear that room, between that room and that bathroom is probably the size of my entire apartment. And I did not even once use that soaking tub. I wish I did. But it was packed. It was a packed 4 days. So we were limited in what we could do. Let's see, what else did I get in this video? The game room. Am I going to show you all the game room? That's the ladies picking out their rooms. There's the game room. We had a Pac-Man, foosball, little golf. And I didn't play Pac-Man the whole time either. Look at that. Womp womp. Here's the entrance. Dining room. I think I'm going to walk you into the kitchen. Yes. It was fabulous. Some more views of the pool. This is where the ladies had their coffee every morning. Ooh, we're buffering. That was a whole vibe back there with the grill and the TV. And there's a little fire pit. You know, I'm a sucker for a fire pit. This was my favorite retreat house that we have ever had. This was our third retreat. So, okay, not that, not a ton of retreats in our past, but out of the three, Florida, Mexico, and Vegas, the Vegas house was definitely my favorite so far. Still jealous of Juliana's ability with her phone to capture the moon because mine can't do that. Oh, here's our fridge after our grocery haul. So you can see what we have stocked here. We got some bubbly waters. That was like a strawberry basil mint, by the way, that they had was that at Target? No, Whole Foods. That was a Whole Foods purchase. Our deli turkey meats, egg life wraps, eggs, lots of ground beef, nut pods, of course. We stocked up with like a ton of flavors. Our Culina coconut yogurt, egg whites, and then our pickles and our pico de gallo. If you have never had Grillo's pico de gallo, it is so good. Let's see. Oh, and then our goodies, carnivore snacks, pork and good, beef sticks, electrolytes. And that's my Kill Switch, my current favorite sleep supplement. If you're not on it yet, check out Coach Nat's Faves on my website, nataliejgrasso.com. All the details are in the description. I have added them as an affiliate partner because that stuff is changing my life. It is amazing. So all the girls got to try that at night. It helped us with our sleep, considering especially the time changes and whatnot. More refrigerator tour. Oh, that was after we broke down. We got a rotisserie chickens, a couple of rotisserie chickens the first night. Look, y'all, that is my little hack when you don't have time to cook. Pick up a couple rotisserie chickens. And we had our smoked salmon too. I forgot about the smoked salmon. Lots of different flavors of egg life wraps, bacon, of course. How could I forget about the bacon? Yes, indeed. That's how we do it. And then our dark chocolate, dark chocolate, and all of our coffees. We are all coffee queens, and we went through all that coffee. We didn't open the decaf at all, but we went through all of the other coffee. This was Juliana's favorite little perch in the morning, and it would be mine as well. Okay, so here I am ready for show day glam. Let's do the show day glam. This was breakfasts. The first day, Juliana did our famous KBB breakfast wraps that we taught everyone at the Florida retreat last year. And then I decided to lean into the higher fats, and I did my favorite scrambled eggs with Kulina coconut yogurt, a little olive oil to make them super fluffy, and then with bacon. So I made that, taught the ladies how to make that. I have a special little technique to my fluffy scrambled eggs, and that is you basically do it like a risotto. It's a constant, you're constantly stirring it in the pot as it cooks. So, and you never want it to get like dry. So it is amazing. Super, super creamy. This is the swag bags and t-shirts for the ladies with all of our KBB Vegas branded items. And Juliana was so sweet. She got everybody one of these little bracelets. Girls trip, cheaper than therapy. It's the ladies opening up their goodies. It was like Christmas morning. And then we proceeded to rock the bags everywhere we went and the t-shirts so we could represent. Kristen had her little Angel Fashion Show robe on. Look at this hair. They hooked it up. So here we are at hair and makeup show day. This is one of my favorite things about show day. Whether it's a competition, a fashion show, it doesn't matter what it is. I absolutely love getting pampered, having somebody else doing my hair and makeup. Because if it were up to me, it wouldn't look like this. It's the behind the scenes. Here's the final look for the fashion show day. That's crazy. Y'all are seeing like a super bright look that I'm not seeing in my images. So, oh, the video is a little better. With the photos, it's interesting. It's like making it, the exposure is too bright. Okay, why did that stop with my mouth open? That's not cute. There we go. That's better. I mean, the way they did this hair and makeup, I want to take them with me everywhere I go. That company is Lebu. I'll have to share with y'all the name of that company. They do a lot of the NPC IFBB shows. Right? You feel like a supermodel. Exactly that. Oh, I got to show you all the food. Me and Kristen, this is the food we prepped. The three of us, we made 3 pounds of ground beef on the stove with salt, a little bit of Slap Your Mama, and we each brought a pound of ground beef with us to the show. This was our meals throughout the day. Mary Grace with hers. And these were my little brisket crisps that I showed y'all from the flight as well. This is a little peek at Resorts World. It was gorgeous. Honestly, I wish we had even had the time to like walk around the resort a little bit more. We got our picture with the Olympia sign. And then this was the Vegas sign. It started raining. We got lucky. We caught like a break in the rain. And we were able to get out and get back to the car without getting wet. Keep the makeup intact. Oh my gosh, I missed this one. This is cute. With enough bacon, I can rule the world. Oh, that's awesome. Here we are outside the venue. made it to this. It was called The Space, Las Vegas. Totally separate venue from everything else for the fashion show. They had some, this was incredible because I was a captain for one of the squads. And this is the first time I've ever been a captain. It was my third Angel Competition Bikinis fashion show and my first time being a captain. So they do this for the captains. They give us this little station. This is in the dressing room with our little picture and our little swag bag. And then this jacket that I am now obsessed with, this red jacket, y'all, with my name on it. That was my little ground beef. I put mine, this is my little trick. I'm going to do this from now on whenever I know I'm going to be out for a while. This may become one of my new things for show days. After we cooked it on the stove, I put it in the oven on a baking sheet and let it dry out and get crispy. And then I added more salt, as you can see in the picture. That was incredible. And it's really not messy at all. You could even eat it with your hands if you needed to. So that was my little snack pre-show. Of course, Juliana is going to find flowers. She's going to find nature everywhere. So that was the jacket. That was the back of the jacket. So fabulous. And this was our red jumpsuit that I'm also obsessed with. It was so flattering and so cute. Here's Kristen and Mary Grace in their dressing room. That was where all the squads were. The captains were in a separate dressing room. This look, y'all, I was just so obsessed with this makeup. Obsessed with the makeup and the hair. They gave me so much volume. Okay, lots and lots more fun pictures backstage with the jacket. And then it was time for our opening ceremonies. So they do this before the fashion shows. They do speeches. It's like motivational, rah-rah stuff. This was the runway. That's the captains. This is one of our photographers. She was also at the Arnold, her and her husband. They're so sweet. We got some photos backstage with them at the Arnold's. There's the ladies in the audience with all the other models. This is Savannah.
Oh my gosh, I see so many amazing women in the crowd. We are so honored.
That's Savannah Sharp.
Who's excited? I think you guys are a little quiet.
So she kicked it off. We had some special guests who were headlining the show. This is IFBB Pro, Deshay. She was so sweet. She was next to me in the dressing room, and she was just such good energy.
Like, do you have a speech ready? You know you're going to do a speech. No, I don't.
It's super real. I love these ladies. Look, so real.
Headliner, Andy.
This is the big headliner for the show. She's also an IFBB pro. She was a bikini pro, and now she is switching to figure.
Hello. I'm very nervous to be up here because she's like, do you want to do a speech? I was like, oh, no, I do not. So I've been competing for a really long time, and it's amazing to see Sarah because we did our first show together. Wow. Was it 2010?
Yeah, a long time
long
ago.
Time ago. So not to age myself, but I've been competing. We've been competing for 11 years. 14 years. Oh my God, it's been so long. But I've been a pro since 2014, and I started in bikini. And you guys, I'm going to switch to figure, and I'm super nervous about it.
So yes, she's making her comeback this year in figure. I used to watch her way back when she's talking about when she started competing. Like, I used to watch her way back, probably 2015, 16 when I started competing. So it was really cool to meet her. She was super sweet. We connected backstage. We're going to stay in touch. This chick, Holly Larson, she is such a motivator. So she got up and did this mantra that she does at every one of these shows, and it's incredible. Listen to this. I hope it'll play. Let's see if I can get it to play. She did it twice, so maybe this one will work. Aw, Google, come on. It's faking me out. All right, I'll come back to it. So this was Deshay popping champagne in the back. We'll stick with photos until the videos start to act right. This is Stacy. We did the Baltimore show together for the first show I ever did. She'll also be on the cruise, which I'll be telling y'all about that in a little bit in January. This is my squad with, of course, Mary Grace and Kristen. And then this was, she's getting ready for her first show coming up next month, a couple months, I think. This is a mother-daughter team. So sweet that they did this together. I met Jennifer, the mom, at the Arnold. She did the Arnold as well. So that was our squad 8. And then during the opening ceremonies, they let us walk the stage, practice walking the stage. Here's Mary Grace and Kristen walking. Oh, I hope you can see a little bit of Mary Grace's video. Not cool that the videos are tripping. All right, we'll stick with pictures. These are some of my favorite pictures of the whole trip. Do y'all see how flattering these red bodysuits are? I'm going to have to find somewhere else to wear it. So cute. Might just have to rock it to the gym. I mean, look at the booties in these bodysuits, y'all. I mean, we work our booties on, so, you know, we worked for those booties, but still. Then we did a big group photo in the back. Video is not going to work. Womp womp. Oh, there we go. I can at least show you all the videos from here when they're not working on when I make them larger. And that was that just the captains, or was it? No, that was everyone. It was a huge shot of all of us. And you know, I'm never going to shy away from the camera, so I'm going to get every opportunity I can to get a million pictures. So that was Mary Grace as my photographer, snapping all of these. She got some great shots. And then we went outside and got some incredible pictures out here by the graffiti garage door. I got to play photographer. Check out Miss Kristen here, y'all. She is getting on stage next weekend. She is entering peak week right now. She is going to crush. I cannot wait for her to take the stage. So this is our headliner that you saw get on stage a minute ago and speak. This was backstage with her creation, one of 2 creations that she debuted at this event. This was backstage doing a little champagne toast that they do before the shows that I did not partake in. None of us partook of the champagne. Here we are backstage. Stacy did this really cute showgirl theme with hers. Angel can create all kinds of stuff for y'all. So if you ever want to do a fashion show, you can have them create like a whole costume vibe. Here's a lot of the ladies heading to the backstage area for the show. Juliana. Oh, this is cute. Sneaking a little picture backstage or side stage. So they had 2 shows. So we got to all sit together for the first show and watch the first show. And then the 3 of us went backstage for the second show because we were walking in the second show. Here's doing it on stage. I mean, look at her legs, y'all. She's a wellness girl. Oh, that's cool. this was such a cute look. This rabbit look. Oh, then it was time to put the suit on. This is the whole group, I think, from the end of the first show. So you can see how many ladies. This was only show 1, and there were 2 whole shows. So double this, and that's how many were in this fashion show. Here's the suit reveal. I was obsessed with this green, y'all. Definitely will be wearing this for competition next year. Possibly my next one, because I really love this suit so much. And I cannot wait to see it on a truly stage lean physique. But with the makeup and everything, y'all, they just crushed this look. I'll be bringing these photos with me for my next show so I can tell them, recreate this, because this look was everything. And then here we have it with the wings and the skirt. They created the wings for me. I bought the skirt on Amazon, happened to match the wings perfectly. They're both a little different from the green in the suit, but that's okay because it kind of contrasts a little bit. Got a little bit of quad action happening here. Not bad for...
Yeah.
And then the glove that they created as well. Now the glove is something I could wear if I do wellness again next year. Then I could wear the glove in the night show for FMG. I could not do the wings because that's considered theme wear. So if I do cross over to fitness, which I would like to do, then I already have some wings for fitness, which that was the reason why I wanted to do this suit. Because I wanted to have something I could wear for fitness if and when the time comes. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots more selfies and group shots. We did a cute little video because I like, as I always tell the ladies for check-ins, I like to take videos and then pose as if you're doing pictures, and then we can take still shots from the video. So I will probably be doing that, taking some still shots and posting some of those of the group, because I think these are the only ones we really got all in our suits. I wish we had done more together in our suits, but here's a fun group pic. Oh, and then there's Carrie. When Carrie arrived, our ladies in the audience, our KBB ladies, more and more and more selfies, some videos backstage before we went on. This is Jennifer's get up. Juliana was loving it all, the USA. Military action. She is a, I think, still active military or a veteran. She actually has a company. Veterans Empires, I think it is on Instagram. I'll have to find it and share it. Oh, here's Mary Grace's walk. Oh, yay. I'm so glad the video is working. Check her out, y'all. Oh my gosh. I was obsessed with her suit. And then she found the pink, what do you call that? Cape? Yeah, she found the cape, I think, on Amazon. But that suit is everything. Cannot wait to see her on stage in that. In her first competition, she is 7 weeks out. Yes, ma'am. Look at the smile is everything. The smile is saying everything. I'm here for it. I love this. Look at the look on her face. Ooh. She's like, yeah, buddy, I got it. Oh, I love it. Check that out. That was one of my favorite shots. I think she got one of the professional shots she got just like that. That's a good shot, though. Shout out to Juliana for capturing all these moments. Oh, we got another one. We got to all walk twice, so that was great. They ran through the entire group twice, which was awesome. Because if you missed a pose you wanted to do or something, you could do it again. Just makes me smile to watch her have so much fun out there. And here comes Kristen. That was so cute. She had all the bling happening, the little embellishments at the ankles and the wrists. And look at all that sparkle on that suit. Another one. I cannot wait to see her on stage. Peak week is here. One more week and she'll be making her bikini debut. Yes, ma'am. Pop the booty. Oh, that's a great shot right there. I love that with the lighting. And Mary Grace in the back corner while Kristen was rocking it. Oh, that's a great shot there too. I love it. Some of these, y'all, I'm getting to see for the first time because I haven't gone back and looked at everything from the album, everything that was added. So we got to do our whole routine once in the middle and then once again on the side before we exited. Here's mine. I just posted the professional video on my Instagram, so you can check it out there too. All the still shots. I did get a nice kick in there at one point. There it is. Bam. I think she got the other video too. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, these are all the second videos. We were in the back practicing what we were going to do together, like the three of us, because we could come back out as a group at the end, and then we missed our cue and didn't get to do it. So I'm pretty sad that we did not get to all come out together, but we were caught up. It was moving fast back there, especially at the very end of the show, because we ended up pretty much right at the end of the show. Let's see. Oh, there it is. I think this is the whole thing. see why I don't see calves. All the calves. So much fun, y'all. Oh, and here we are at the end. So the entire group comes out together. So we did get to come out together in that regard. So at least we did all get out on stage together for a snapshot of a moment. That's so fun. They had us out there for a minute. I was like, my quads hurt. So many pictures. Look at all this, y'all. So many. These are some good ones of the entire. Oh, and then the first group came up to the stage with us. So these are now the entire fashion show group. This is everyone that walked in both shows. Massive amount of people. I think it was over 100 models. Now, this was heading out for the after party because we left backstage and went straight to this pool party after party at this mansion. They were all huddled up in the back seat of our Jeep. This is the neighborhood. That was across the street, and then this
Party
is the
time.
it was incredible. They had a lap pool, y'all. This backyard was incredible. This was separate from everything else in the backyard. And of course we had to take photos like everywhere. The whole place was like a photo shoot. Got to find the good lighting, y'all. Y'all know how it goes. They had caves. This is all the backyard, y'all. This house. Looks like a resort. We went over this bridge and went to the caves. There it is. There were hot tubs in the caves. It's not gonna play it from there anyway. Maybe from here. So we went into the caves and we took pictures. Kristen killing it, killing them. Ah! So much fun. So many photos back here. We were just living it. Okay, first of all, let's take a moment for Mary Grace and this black number because hottie. Oh, wow. And then here's all the whole group. Finally got to pick all together. And y'all, look at this. Look at this mess. This is the food they had at the after party. That was where the after party was being held. Bodybuilding after party. This is what we find. The island of it. You see that one little charcuterie board? Tiny little charcuterie board. We each had some meat and cheese, olives, dark chocolate, almonds or something out of all the food. And then this is all pizzas back here. Crazy. So that was all the fashion show. the next day was hair and makeup at our house for the photo shoot. More scrambled eggs and bacon for breakfast. One of our fabulous makeup and hair ladies, she was crushing it. I mean, y'all, the way our hair and makeup stood up all day long and then outside, it was incredible. Carrie, this is just gorgeous. Before and afters, she just, once again, crushed this look. The curls held all day long. She was concerned that they wouldn't hold, but they absolutely did. Took a million selfies as usual. Did a little try on of some of the looks for the photo shoot. This was one of them that I went with. The J-Lo boots, which Juliana was able to get on for a few of her images, and they came out incredible. This is another look. And with the red jacket, I was obsessed with it with the red jacket. And I don't know if I took pictures of it. You probably have to wait for the photo shoot final images to come out. But this was so perfect because at the ghost town, they had like Coca-Cola signs. And I was like, oh, I have to get this look with the Coca-Cola signs. So here we are. We're driving out to the desert. It was actually gorgeous just driving out there. Becky, I'm jealous of the views that you get on a regular basis out there in Arizona. So, oh, this is great. Shout out to the ladies for getting these images because this was inside where we went in to do our changing. This was like all the different places all over that you could choose to have as a background. Oh, that came out really dark, but that is a cool picture of them. Check these ladies out. I mean, hot, 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 hot. This is one of my favorite pictures of all. And it wasn't even one of the professional ones. I mean, hello. This is where we were changing. This is our dressing room. Creepy. And now we have our behind the scenes images.
Yeah.
The flowing dresses. We did flowing dresses, and that was such a blast.
Yeah.
We were in charge of tossing each other's dresses in the air to get the right shot. And holding the camera equipment so it didn't fall because it was very windy. So we were the models and part of the crew.
Okay. You gotta sell a camera.
Here's how it all happens, y'all. Check it out.
Hand somewhere.
You wanna hide it?
Yeah, I need to see the other hand. Okay, to see it somewhere. Because otherwise you're fucking amputee. You can put like, you can actually grab your garment on the top here. Open your mouth a tiny bit. 3, 2, 1. Oh, what? Okay, you see?
So when y'all see the final shots, now you're gonna know what goes into it behind the scenes. It was so much fun though. And at the very end, I was so glad I asked him to get some shots of the three of us all together because we all had those dresses on. I had the yellow. And then we did some with all three of us, and it was incredible. So I cannot wait to share those with y'all. So much fun. Here's some with Carrie and Juliana were together they were like splitting us up and we're going with different photographers. I loved her pictures with the like golden bikini top and the yellow background stuff. It was so, so gorgeous. There's all three of us with Monty, the photographer that was doing the flowy dresses part. And then this was Duran. He was the main photographer I was working with who was shooting the non-flowy dresses part of the shoot. As you can tell, he's a bodybuilder too. Big dude. I asked Carrie to snap some of these behind the scenes because it was so much fun. Kristen killing it. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. And we did get some, oh, there's Mary Grace rocking the camera. Yes. Y'all are just making me so proud. And then we snapped some selfies. I guess technically it wasn't a selfie. I think we set up the camera on something. Lots of laughs at the very end. We did get a few shots, group shots with our KBB Vegas merch. So we were repping. So you will see that in some future stuff. Future marketing for sure. That night we stopped at Smashburger and even indulged in some sweet potato fries. So this was so good after such a long day. And then, oh, they even had a pour over coffee, by the way, in the house. So that was nice. Juliana was making her pour overs every morning. This is my little finally get to chill the next day morning vibe. And then let's see, this is the day we went to the expo. So here we are at the expo. Massive, we took over a whole section of the convention center. Hey ladies! Hey. We finally made it to the expo. Let's do this. So here's a little peek from the top. So this whole section that you see, and then you go down past everything, and then there's another whole section, you go down, and that's where all the performing stages are. So it was massive. It was like, if you've ever been to the Arnold, it's like the Arnold, but double it. This was really cool. They had all of the past Mr. Olympias all the way up to present time. And Derek Lunsford won this year, so he'll be going up there again. Oh, this was some fun t-shirts, custom t-shirts. Jesus is my spotter. Loved that one. I'm going to have to find them. Limitless. This company had all kinds of fun ones. We have the meats. Thick filet. I was like, I need that in my life. The Squat Father. Super cute stuff you could do. They had stages everywhere where there were like different strongman competitions. There was a sumo wrestling one. I think I grabbed a photo or video of at one point. This was one of the vendors. They let us get up on the bull. Ride the bull. It was just a statue. We didn't actually get to ride. It wasn't like a ride, but we all had to get our photos on the bull. Don't be a can't. So many great t-shirts, y'all. So much great stuff. Here's the sumo wrestling championships. So that was pretty cool. You could see all kinds of stuff. There was even an eating championship. We didn't, oh, here it is, Extreme Eating Championships. We didn't actually get to see it. Nothing was happening when we were over there, but get to try some different stuff. This was David Bar. Most of these products are way too sweet, too much garbage in them. We did get a few group shots before Mary Grace had to leave us, and Carrie. You could take pictures with the images of the greats. That was fun. This was tasty. Iced coffees. This one had a lot of like, it had like nootropics in it, MCT oil. It was all good except the very bottom ingredient was sucralose. I was like, dang it. Otherwise, would have loved it. But they did give us each a free can that we took back with us. This company, you might be seeing me talk about more coming up. Salt is their newest line of products. Market Pantry? No. Nature's Pantry, I think, is the overall company name. But they had Hydrocell, their salt electrolyte product that we tried that was really good. So I need to holler at him about an affiliate code because that was really good. And they gave us some of their little salt packets, which it's like a coarse gray salt, really clean, really good stuff. Of course, we had to have some pictures with the Wolfpack angel wings. And then this was our other favorite product. This was Jerky King.
Infused beef jerky brought to market, okay? We got 6 grams of creatine, roughly 90 grams of protein per bag, and they're not 8-ounce bags.
Woo! Need with creatine. Yeah.
So they infuse it with creatine. So it's like extra creatine. That wasn't really the selling point for me, but it was more about they tasted really good. They had 2 really good flavors. They had a dill pickle and dang, I'm forgetting the name of that Texas flavor. Anyway, really tasty. So we'll probably be sharing some more. This was the Texas flavor. Super good. Then we happened to just end up in the right place at the right time to watch the bikini. So let's see. That's Laura Lee Chapados. She was Miss Olympia Bikini last year. She did lose her title this year to Maureen, who is here in the green to the right. She's the one that won the whole thing this year. But this is basically your top 6, top 8. This is when they called out the top 8. This was the full top call outs. Here's the lineup of the full top call outs. Maureen is in the green in the middle, the one to the right next to the purple. But insane conditioning, this entire lineup. So that was pretty cool. We got to see the prejudging in person, and then we watched finals Saturday night. We all ended up buying some cute stuff. BOGO, buy one, get one free from Bombshell Boutique. So cute new sets to wear to the gym. And then here you go, Becky. We didn't meet the athletes, but we met Brett Contreras, the glute guy. So I did fangirl him, and I said, hey, can I fangirl you? I introduced him to the squad, told him that we use his videos. He was very gracious. Got a bunch of pictures with him. That was a highlight. Very happy with that. This did not weigh anything, but it's one of those where you just take pictures with the pretzel barbell. That was fun. We all did some of that. And then this was an awesome little spot. It was a graveyard of I can't, I'm not enough. Here lies addiction. Here lies regret. Doubt is dead. This is our kind of vibe. So we all got our shots in there. This was Juliana's haul here, the things she actually purchased. This is the one I was talking about, the hydrocelt salt. The peachy twist was so good. It was like peach, dragon fruit, and mango or something. That night we did our little taco bowls, guac, ground beef. And so it was Saturday night that we put on the finals in the hot tub. That was when we were watching the Mr. Olympia finals, the big finals, which is bikini and the Mr. Olympia heavyweight. With a whole vibe.
We are watching the Olympia, the fireside, and this is living our best lives.
Kristen said it. This is living our best lives. And then, of course, we have to have our kill switch, sleep well, and get up to go in the morning. I'm not going to show y'all. I'm not going to put Kristen on blast, but she did some posing for us and in the morning. Now, y'all are going to have to wait for her actual show to see her full posing routine with her show day physique. But Sunday was Dragon's Lair day, so we finally went to the famous Dragon's Lair. And here we go. Repping our stuff again. That was fun. This is my favorite photo. So we got to play with some equipment. Like I've never even used this one before. This is a calf raise. I've never done a calf raise machine like that before. I didn't even know what it was when I first saw it. So that was kind of cool. This guy was showing us some of the equipment we had never used, like a tricep extension. We all tried out the calf raise. This was a standing abduction. So badass. I wish my gym had one of these. For some of y'all who've been in the academy, and we had one of these in our program at one point, but you had to use the seated abduction machine and you just had to stand up and do this. But this is actually a machine that's built to be a standing abduction. Hey girl, hey. Juliana did the whole stack. Crushing the whole stack here. Kristen rocking the new set that we got at the expo. So cute. Belt squat. We had to play with the belt squat, of course. Oh, and then this was the kind of lower back hack squat that I was doing here. Oop. I was doing a lot of explaining, full-on coach mode. This gluteator, we got to play with this in Florida last year on the retreat there as well. But as you can see, it rotates. It's not just in and out, but you actually get the angle coming up and down as well. It's another one I wish I had at my gym. I was laughing about this. Lunge. They had a lunge machine that I've never seen before. It's kind of awkward. Awkward getting into and setting up, but incredible. Glute quad burner. I'm hoping that when they open DMV Iron near me that we'll have some cool stuff like this in there. let's see what else we got. I showed them how to do my favorite style of single arm shoulder press when you sit backwards on a isolateral shoulder press machine that not all gyms have, but it's an incredible way to do a shoulder press because you get kind of this forward angle, a forward incline that it's hard to get on most machines. This was an IFBB Pro, Wellness Pro. Asked Kristen to take a picture, so I was taking a video. Let's see, we just grabbed some great fun selfies. And then Kristen hit some pull-ups. I had to get a taller step because I was trying to jump up there. Juliana with the scapular retractions. I'm like, feel it here. Some selfie action, and that is it. That is the end of the weekend. So let me stop sharing my screen here. Okay, there we go. So I took up the whole hour just showing y'all pictures of the weekend. I'm not going to go for another whole hour, but I will just give you the updates. And the big update here is the fashion show is now the pinnacle of my year. It is the end of my prep. So before we left, and in my previous prep updates, I've shared with y'all the struggle that I've had this not cutting, cutting my macros, cutting my calories, adding cardio, and my body weight, my body fat just not dropping. So it has been a battle. I finally started to get a drop. I want to say it was on my last update to y'all. Let me look at my timeline here. I will share my screen because I did want to share some data. I'm not going to go as in depth. I'll just give you all more of the cliff notes this time, but the last update was about here, September 14th, 15th. So at that point, I had just barely gotten a new drop. And then look what happened. Then we came back up. And then we started dropping again. And then we came back up. And then we came back up. And then we stayed up. So, and this pink, if you don't know, now you know, that's my cycle week. So, we can it's kind of expected that I'll have a little bit of a bump there. But when I was just still sitting at my old low before I got the drop, it was just like, okay, we are 2 weeks out.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
I just want everyone watching to look at what we're looking at here right now and never complain about tracking your macros again. Okay? You've got nothing to worry about or stress over just keeping track of your food. That's all.
Are you talking about all of the data points that I have tracked for months for this entire year? Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, y'all, 2024 tracking log, 2022, 2023. I've been since 2022, I have full years of data like this.
It's not stressful.
No, not at all.
You just do it. You just do it.
The tracking is not the stressful part. The stressful part is why am I not getting the results, right? And that's the other thing, when you're stressing out over not getting results in 3 weeks, let's just reflect for a moment. I started this cut way, way back. This was like July, I think. 10 weeks out. I think it was July when I really got into the cut. Yeah, because it was after the cruise. So we came back from the cruise. I had a baselining week in June, prep cut week 1. So end of June, beginning of July. So July, August, September, and now we're mid-October. So 3.5 months. And starting at 120, 121 with 22% body fat. Now, I will say, I've said this the entire time, I did get some recomp. So the body fat percentage just did indeed go down. So let's see. So yeah, 121, 21%, 121, 20%. So we dropped 2% body fat without dropping any weight. That was the first month. Going into August, stayed at that 20%, 121, maintaining. Now we're in the 19%, still at the same weight though. And then here we are, 119. 119's that whole week, 19%, 0.8. So still getting drops in body fat percentage while the weight maintained all the way through August. Look at that, weight went back up. Body fat percentage continued to drop slightly. Down here, body fat percentage dropped under 19%. That was September. So here we are the next month, only 1 pound down, but body fat percentage continued to track downwards. Mid-September, this was when I did my last update for y'all. We ended that week at 118, 18.4%. So I did finally get a drop on average on the scale with total body weight. Body fat percentage continued to go down another 0.5%. This is when I got my cycle and we were 2 weeks out and to the fashion show and the weight went up. Body fat percentage ticked up slightly as well. So I was sitting at 119, 1 week out, peak week for the O. So at peak week, this is where we finally dropped into the 117s, ended the week back in the high 118s. But body fat percentage dropped again. So now we're sitting at about 118 and 18.6% body fat. And that was about when I left. Yeah, and all these blackout days are days that I decided not to track while we were there. That was a conscious decision of like, let's just let it be a full diet break, not track anything. And I definitely ate. I ate a lot. So this was going into the show, 118. This was, what day did I leave? Wednesday the 8th is when I flew. That was my travel day. And you can see before that, macros, calories stayed low. The average was 1450, 1471. 1495, 1450. So yeah, I was sitting in the 1400s for overall intake for quite a few weeks. I had dropped from 16, 17 down to 1450-ish for 1, 2, 3, 4, going into my 5th week at that level. I started, and I think I started this when I did last month's update. I started tracking what my wearable was giving me for estimated caloric expenditure in my day. I was curious about that because I'd never really looked at that data point, but I started looking at it when I did my last update with y'all. And as I looked at that, I was able to really dial in, okay, macros versus like calories in, calories out, and track an estimated deficit or surplus. Estimated because, once again, these wearables are not perfect. Macro tracking is not perfect, but let's give ourselves an idea. Are we in a deficit or not? So according to the data, I should have been in about almost a 500 calorie deficit on average, and yet we're not seeing the drop. And then still, look at this, supposed 450 calorie deficit. We did get 1 pound. No, not even a pound. Well, yeah, 1 pound, 1 pound there. So going into the fashion show, I was sitting at, about another 1450 on average before travel day. Expenditures should have still been in a deficit. And we're hanging out in the 118s, 119s, going the opposite direction. This was, here we got the drop in the 117s, back up into the 118s, 119s, 118, 119s. So everything was going in the other direction the days leading up to the O. Now, I have some stuff in red here, and I have some stuff highlighted pink. Why is that? Another big change that happened a month before, right when I did my last update for y'all, a month before the show, I started taking hormonal birth control again at the recommendation of my gynecologist, because we had found a cyst and fibroids. Since then, I don't remember if I updated y'all on this or not. I think I had gotten my ultrasound as of last month when I did my last update, but I don't think I'd gotten the results yet, or I was scheduled for the ultrasound. I got the ultrasound. They did find more fibroids. So I have 3 fibroids and a cyst. She said that it should take up to 3 months for the birth control to potentially really start working to stop my ovulation and potentially help my symptoms. Well, in the meantime, I've had worse symptoms. For example, this was a full week before I was supposed to start my cycle. My cycle had been a perfect 28 days. And while I generally deal with pain 1 to 2 days at the beginning of my cycle every month, and it's excruciating, but it's like 1 to 2 days, I started spotting the day that I was flying. So the day I flew out, started spotted all week, and I didn't put that in here. What day was Sunday? The 12th, yeah. So yeah, I was spotting through Sunday, and then Monday when I flew back was when I stopped spotting. So I was spotting, I was holding water, I was bloated, I was cramping. The entire time we were there, I was on ibuprofen. And usually I don't take anything until and unless I get that excruciating day, and then usually I have to take a heavy painkiller. And that's the main reason why my GYN had recommended the birth control. I avoided it. I've been off of it for 12 years. I started back a month ago. And so I think that some of this is related to taking the synthetic hormones. I'm really I don't love the idea of doing it, but I decided I'd give it a try for the 3 months and see if it actually helps. And then I'll make a decision from there. But this first month has definitely been wonky. So going into this trip, I was like so over it with the cut. Decided to do that diet break, decided not to track. Definitely, like I said, I know I was eating a lot. I had to be at least at maintenance. I mean, this was even travel day. And travel day, you can see, I basically had like a big refeed that day. That was also the night we got the rotisserie chicken. And we were traveling all day from the East Coast. So it was like probably like a 20-hour day. So, you're up longer than normal. So you end up having like an entire extra meal. And that was rotisserie chicken. So that was definitely, I was definitely not following my regular macros. That was a big refeed day. And then I pretty much refed for like 3-4 more days. And then I started tracking again, but post show. So here's where we were on average. And these red numbers here, this is the Weight Watchers scale that was at the Airbnb. So the numbers are a little different. especially the 121, the 21% body fat. And obviously, and I couldn't track my actual skeletal muscle mass on that scale. So these numbers are all definitely significantly different than normal. So it threw off the averages a little bit, but I did want to see that data in there. So I did put that in there. When I got back to my regular scale, I was sitting at 120. And then that dropped back into the 119s by the end of the week. So I'm still sitting in the 119s. After, just like my show last November in Mexico, post-show in Mexico, I did not do a very structured, tiny calorie bump each week as a reverse diet. I jumped right back up to my previous maintenance intake, and I did the same thing this time. So give or take, I guess. I didn't jump all the way back up, but I had gotten my intake up pretty high in my off season, like into the 2,200, 2,400 calories. Coming out of when I started tracking again, I decided this was going to be a post-show diet break week where I would track but not try. So basically eat, track it, and see where the numbers landed. On average, that ended up putting me at almost 160 protein, 36 carbs, and 124 fat. So sitting right at about 1,900, which if you look at my estimated caloric expenditure was a very small surplus. So it was basically a maintenance, which was kind of cool that it happened that way. Just so happened that the fluctuations of some low days and some higher days ended up averaging out right to be at my body's maintenance. So that's pretty cool. And it's informing some of what I'm going to do next. So I'll share that with y'all next. So here's where I'm sitting as of today, 119. It jumped up to 20% today. I'll probably be sitting back somewhere in high 119s, low 120s, 19-ish% body fat. Skeletal muscle usually sits around 54, 55, somewhere around there. So I'm not mad at where I'm sitting right now for a maintenance. I'm not mad at where I'm sitting right now for a off season, but it certainly is not where I would want to be 7 weeks out to a show. So that is why I decided to pull out of Mexico. So let's put that tracker away. Okay. So when we got back, I had a chat with Bronson, and I was like, look, I don't think at this point with the timeline, with less than 8 weeks to go, that I can get to where I need to be competitive on stage in Mexico. And with the expense of what it takes to do a show, from the travel, especially going down to Mexico, from the travel to the hair and makeup, to the tan, to the registration, to all the expenses, I was like, it's not worth it to me, because I'm not going to get on stage as a pro. It doesn't make any sense for me to get on stage and not be competitive. So looking at the timeline with less than 8 weeks to go, and at that point, probably 12 or more pounds to lose, I would have to do some extreme stuff to get there. And I'm not willing to do that, because I'm not going to wreck my health for a stage that will always be there. The stage will be there. So I'm perfectly happy with my decision not to continue cutting at this stage. I did, however, sign up for the Angel Competition Bikinis fashion show and cruise. They are doing a cruise in January. They do it every January, but they also, this January, will also be doing their first ever fashion show at sea on Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean is who we cruise with for the low carb cruise every year. Bronson and I will be speaking on the low carb cruise again in 2026. And the itinerary is basically the same. It's going out of Galveston, Texas, and both of them are going to Cozumel. Really loved that itinerary when we did that a couple of years ago. So I'm really excited to do another Angel fashion show, and especially the cruise. This will be my first time cruising with Angel. So if anyone is interested in cruising with Angel or doing the fashion show, because you can come on the cruise without doing the fashion show, you can do both. Those are options. You can use my code Coach Nat. I believe it's Coach Nat. It'll be in the description below. You can get a discount on your registration for the cruise, your registration for fashion shows, and any Angel bikini or Angel product of any kind. So check that out below. I will also put the specific link to the cruise in the description, so you can check that out if you're interested. Drop me any questions about it. Happy to share. I'm really looking forward to that. It's something else that can kind of just keep me focused and motivated, I suppose. In retrospect, part of me is thinking, you know, wow, I put a lot into doing this cut over these last few months. In retrospect, would I have rather not even tried to do the cut and just continued to focus on building and recomp all year? Perhaps, but I think had I done that, I definitely would have kept my intake up higher. I would not have pushed myself to do cardio. And I actually think that those two things were really important for me. Two things that I hesitate to do in a prep, but are the two things that we all have to do in a prep to get where we're trying to go. And that is cutting food and adding cardio or activity. And so in my off seasons, I get very sedentary. And I think one of my big lessons coming out of this was I don't want to be sedentary in my day-to-day life. I am an online coach, so I sit here at this desk a lot unless I'm very intentional about my movement. So a goal of mine in the last off season, which I did not do, was to continue to do some form of cardio strategically and plan it out, or at least have a step count goal. So going into the next few months, because the next thing now for me is the cruise in mid-January, which is about 3 months out. November, December, January. Yeah. So we're about 3 months out from that. So my goal at this point is to maintain, to continue to recomp, which after this experience, the other big lesson that I came up with was that while it was a huge win this past off season, getting my intake up as high as we got it and my activity as low as we got it, and still being able to maintain at about 5 pounds lower and a lower body fat than I generally do sit at in an off season, that was a huge win. However, I don't want to push my intake up that high, and I don't want to allow my activity to get that low. I think what I've actually discovered through this cut was that my maintenance intake, it doesn't need to be such a large range. I have the freedom to where I can have higher intake days, higher calorie days, and lower calorie days. And so the big takeaway for me, and as I mentioned when I said this last week, it's interesting how I had high days and low days, and I ended up at my maintenance level. This next 3 months for me, I really want to embrace intuitive eating on a different level than I ever have before. So kind of what I did coming out of this show, which was the track but don't try, really allow myself to listen to my own hunger and satiety signals, eat when my body's telling me it wants to eat as much as I need to, not just eat for entertainment or because I'm snacky or, listening to every whim, but eating intuitively in terms of not forcing macros in one direction or another, not forcing myself to eat a certain amount because I'm building, or not trying to keep my macros under a certain amount because I'm cutting. So finding this happy, flexible maintenance where some days my macros will be a little higher and a little bit lower. Along with that, I've been feeling the desire to just really shift more into a paleo, real whole foods, less protein powders and protein powder treats, as much as I love them. And they're really enjoyable, especially as a junk food replacement or dessert replacement. I've just really been wanting to dive more into animal-based, still mostly carnivore, ketovore, but real whole foods. So this week I have put some of my blueberry bowls back. I do coconut yogurt with blueberries, wild blueberries, and pumpkin seeds. Sometimes some dark chocolate that has made its way back in this week. My favorite meal ever, one of my favorite meals ever, I have multiple, but is my lamb bowls with my Mediterranean warm spices. I've added, you can't really tell, but I've added, this is honey nut squash in there, and with a drizzle of olive oil on top and the coconut yogurt. So that's made its way back in. Today, because I'm having more fats, I had my scrambled eggs with my smoked salmon. A very carnivore meal there. This is the blueberry bowl that I like to make. And I do add some protein powder to that because the coconut yogurt is so low in protein. So I do add a little vanilla collagen and a little vanilla protein in there. Let's see, what else has come back? Anything else? We went out for our anniversary. Our 4-year anniversary was this past weekend. So we went to brunch. We hadn't gone out to brunch in forever. So I got my favorite meal, which is the hanger steak. I think it's hanger steak. I always forget what type of steak. Over easy or sunny side up eggs. And this time I did get the home fries on the side. Bronson helped me eat them. So I ate maybe half to 3/4 of a serving, and the chimichurri. So sometimes the potatoes make it in there. Winter squash and purple sweet potatoes are some of my absolute favorite carb sources, especially this time of year. So I already said in Vegas when we were grocery shopping and I saw that the purple sweet potatoes are back in the grocery stores, I said, okay, this season I am having some purple sweet potato because I did not have that last year. So, so real whole foods, nutrient dense. I do like variety. Still mostly animal based. Today it was like lamb, eggs, salmon, turkey, usually beef, although I don't think I had any today, steak or anything. So yeah, that's what the next few months for me look like. Amanda said, that's why I got a dog for the steps. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely that would force me to do it for sure. But I'm a cat girl and I definitely want cats. But we're still not ready for our kittens. We would like to get some kittens, but not yet. Not time for that yet. Yes, the purple sweet potatoes are life. Oh my gosh. It's like, it has like a taro flavor to me, which taro is another thing I love. If I can find some taro, I'll probably get some of that too. So yeah, I love root vegetables. I don't see myself putting in a whole bunch. I don't see myself doing salads again and lots and lots of green veg. Just that hasn't been my thing for a long time. Ever since I went carnivore, I just never really desired to have any of that again. So I don't know if I'll ever go back to those kinds of veg, but I do like some root vegetables, carrots, sweet potatoes, turnips, those kinds of things in the fall and winter. And then certain fruits. I'm not a big fruit girl, but I love me some wild blueberries, an occasional banana here and there. I've been seeing on TikTok this beef bowl, like ground beef bowl, but with bananas. So it's on the back of my mind. I might try that. at some point, which I imagine would be kind of like doing plantains. And I love plantains. That's another one of my favorite carb sources. So, so yeah, some of that. But one thing I have learned from bringing my carbs up considerably, I've done that in an off season when I was with my coach a few years ago. Once I get to a certain level of carbs in my day, and it's not high, it's still pretty ketogenic for a lot of like intense athletes. They'd probably still be in ketosis with like 70 or 80 grams of carbs total. But for me, it's usually when I get to that like 70, 80 grams, if I try to go above that consistently, I just feel heavy. I feel uncomfortable. It's just too much for me. I would much rather have my healthy fats than my carbs. We did more avocado. I did a lot more avocado on the trip than what I've been doing. I hadn't been having avocado. Really kind of miss guacamole, so I'll probably put some avocado back in there. So yeah, there will be some plant matter that makes its way back into my life now that I'm just allowing my overall intake to come up. So yeah, I think I will probably do a series because last year I was going to do a series, an off-season series. And while I'm really not calling this an off-season, I don't know what I'll call it, maybe intuitive eating season or maintenance recomp, maybe recomp because I get so many questions about recomp these days that I want to document this process and what that looks like, because I used to be, when I very first started competing, I was that person who needed a competition on the calendar to stick to my diet. And then the minute the competition was over, it was like, oh, all bets are off. Now I can go get this and that and all the junk. And that's what you saw if you saw the video I showed earlier of the after party. And here we have all these incredibly fit people with junk food everywhere. And it's a lot of the time, that is the culture of bodybuilding. That is the culture. It's like deprive, get to show day, and then stuff your face with all the junk. And I've been there. I've done that. It's horrible. What it does to your body is horrible. If you're going to go through all the effort of eating clean and tracking your macros and losing the body fat and, being super disciplined, it is not going to help you to go to the other extreme afterwards. And then you're going to be living on that yo-yo. So I want to definitely share more about what life is like when you're not cutting, and that it doesn't have to be this one extreme to another. There will likely be days where I am fully carnivore and it's just all ground beef and lamb and steak, and other days where I'm having some more variety. And like I said, the macros will likely shift and have some lower days and higher days based on hunger, based on training schedules and things of that nature. So that's what you can look forward to from me going forward. I had some notes somewhere of, I just want to make sure I say anything else I wanted to share. There it is. Okay. Fashion show, retreat, photo shoot, Dragon's Lair, ending prep early, progress updates, health. We talked about health. Definitely want to get some blood work done again, at least one more time this year at some point. Take a look at how all that is doing. I did share last update that I had come off all of my supplements to do the redo blood work for my primary care physician. And we did that. I also did the kidney ultrasound she wanted. Everything came back beautiful. So no concerns there. I knew there were no concerns. I have started slowly adding, just like yesterday or 2 days ago, started adding a little bit of creatine back after I had taken it out. I did add the glutamine back pretty quickly for gut health. I added the protein powder back. And then when I got back from Vegas, I added the iodine again. So I've been taking the iodine. And when I first got back from Vegas, I had kind of a head cold situation going on. So I've been taking some like immune supplements, tinctures, that I don't usually take on a regular basis. So I've been doing that. I'll probably finish out the week doing that and then phase those back out. And then I'm going to decide whether or not I go back to, you know, all of kind of the standard supplements I was taking before. So that's something I can share on my next video. I did also get a new product that I will likely officially become an affiliate for them. It's called Living Good Daily. It is a collagen with a multivitamin and multimineral in it, in the powder. So that's what I've been using lately. I'm really enjoying it. So I will gather some information and likely add that to the Coach Nat's Favorites tab on my website and start sharing a discount link for that for anybody who's interested in that. I do not like taking capsules and tablets, so I'm a big fan of powder or liquid supplements whenever possible. And that one does not have a funny taste. I got my own, for those who are in the academy, they know, I got my own base vitamin and mineral powder that I can add to protein shakes and things of that nature, but it has a funny flavor, so don't use it a lot. It's kind of hard to cover up that flavor, but they somehow did it, so I like theirs, and so that might be the one that I stick with going forward. And then 2026 competition plans. I haven't officially decided yet, but I'm excited that the first show of the season for FMG is in Dallas in March. So it's a domestic U.S. show. Dallas, gotta love Dallas, Texas. Kind of an easy flight. So I'm thinking about it, but I'm not going to make a decision because I need to see how my body responds. In retrospect, I do think that this prep may have just been too soon to try to go into a cut after reversing out of my last show. So I just want to see how the next few months go, look and feel as good as I can at the cruise and the fashion show in January, and then I'll make my decision from there. Am I in a position where mentally and physically I'm ready to cut? Because could I have really pushed this for 7 weeks, gone ham, did all the cardio, cut my calories super low? Sure. But I was absolutely not there mentally, and I knew it would not be a good idea for my body either physically. So I have to assess both. We always, ladies, have to assess mental mindset. Where's my mental state? And then, so do I have what it takes to really push mentally as well as physically? All right, that was it. That's all I got for you today. And I've been talking for a long time. So that's it. If y'all have questions about anything about the show, anything that I'm doing going forward, let me know. I will put it in a future update, or I'll respond to you in the comments in the replay on YouTube. Ladies, if you are not yet in my Facebook group, the link is below. Join us there. And if you need coaching, I do coaching one-on-one as well as in a group setting. Check out the link below for the Keto Bikini Academy to learn more about that. We would love to have you join us. Our next new program is launching at the beginning of November. So I'm now designing that training program as we speak, testing it out myself. And we will be kicking off our winter program every year is our build without bulking, because we don't want to get big. We just want to put on lean tissue so we can be lean and mean as we age and fight against muscle loss as we age. And then recomp, losing body fat, becomes effortless. So if you want to join us for that, it'll be starting November 2nd, I believe. Details to drop soon. Stay tuned. And that's all I got for you tonight. Good night. Thanks for being here with me live.